search for your handle, right?
Yeah. Let me search too.
Okay, it says upcoming 8:05. I've clicked on that link. Yeah, we're
Okay.
both visible now. Good.
Okay. Okay. Let me get the link and share with you so you can share. Give me a second. If this was StreamYard now, I'll be able to see those that are live on the this thing. But I don't know why this one is quite different. Let me check the charts. Okay. I'm seeing the live stream charts now. So um let me get the link and share with
Okay.
you. Okay, I think we have 4 people that have joined.
Yeah,
So let me
now
share
six.
get a link with you. Yeah. Let me get the link. Uh so guys, can you hear us? If you can hear us, please leave a comment. Let's be sure we're not talking to ourselves. Let me okay. Tom, can you see the live? Can you see the live chat? Check if you can see the live stream
On my
chat.
end, yes, I can see it on my end.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, good to have you, Tom. Good to have you. Um, so let me get the link. So just give us a moment to like share um
Okay.
this live session to our community. Okay, yeah. Um, okay. So I just sent you the live.
Link.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we've
So yeah.
gotten it.
Okay. Let me share. Hello, Sharip. Okay, you can hear us. That's fine. Okay, okay. Just give us a moment. Let's share this. Um, okay. Let's see.
Will they have access to the link after the
Yeah, yeah,
live is over?
sure. Yeah, yeah, sure. We can also bring people live, but that will be later. I think there's a way to have people join us and ask their questions. But
Okay.
yeah, me. Um, let me share here. Okay, immense my Telegram community. Then we are good to go. Uh, I'm almost done sharing. Just give me a second.
Okay.
Uh, okay, okay. So are you good to go now? Can we start?
Sure, sure, sure. I'm good to go.
Okay, perfect. So good evening, Onome. It's good to have you join us today on our live session. So usually, I like to like have a live session with my community, and they get to like ask their questions and just um connect with them as well. And this is your first time joining us, and I'm really honored because I love your work. Right, I first took note of what you're doing on Twitter. That was when I got hold of you, and then I'm a huge fan. I Before I even make analysis, I like to like watch your own stuff just to get insight. So I'm really happy to have you here. Um, Probably I'll just allow you or give you the opportunity to do the intro, because I know that most of them might not know you. So you just do the intro, and then you share what you also do on Twitter, and then I watch your YouTube channel as well. You also do breakdowns and breakdowns of how companies perform financially here in the African in the Nigerian market and also in the US market. So, yeah, just the table. I hand over the table to you. Just do your intro and let my audience get to know you. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Onome, and I'm an equity and crypto analyst, more of equities.
Yeah.
I've been one for about 9 years and some
Oh, wow.
fraction. I'm largely focused on Nigerian markets, Nigerian stock market. I'm also
Yeah.
more of a fundamentalist. So in my analyzing stocks,
Yeah.
I like to understand um, how they work, how their financials work, how the industries they are in, how they coping, and how they operating. So in a nutshell, that's what I do. I do that on Twitter. I do that on my
Yeah.
YouTube channels, Critical Warrior. Everywhere
Yeah.
essentially. I'm almost everywhere. Twitter
Yeah.
is my most active place, followed by YouTube, then
Yeah.
and a bit on IG and TikTok as well. Yeah. Then there's a Critical website.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the essence of
Okay.
what I do.
So so basically, I know that there might people, some people that might want to like, um, I know you do one on ones, right? You do one on ones, like you do just in case after sharing your insight and people wants to like get to know you, you do one on ones, right?
Oh sure. Oh sure. But
Okay.
I'm always
Okay.
I'm a bit selective, and I like to let people know that um
Yeah.
I don't do stock picks. I don't do trading signals. I don't do
Yeah.
stock is going to do 500% in 1 year or 1 month because I don't know. And uh, even if I knew, I wouldn't say, right? I just go find money and put money there. So it's more of an holistic thing,
Yeah.
which is to say, where are you going financially? Where are you at the moment? How do I help you become better with what you're doing with money? And simple, basic stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So before we jump in and I get to ask you about the market and what you're forecasting and what you're seeing, guys, please can you take a moment to like this video and share with any community that you belong to so we can have more people join us and get to learn because Onome is someone that is very knowledgeable about the markets and he's going to be sharing a lot of knowledge in this live session. So I would encourage you guys, if you're watching, for you to share this video, like the video is very, very important. It helps more people see what we are doing here and it also helps the community to grow. So, if you love what I do, please help me to share this content, share this live session, like it. It's very, very important. Um, and there's going to be after like having some brief conversations with Onome about the markets, we are going to have you guys join us live here and you get to ask your questions you get to have we get to have conversations. That's the most important thing. That's the way we get to connect and all that. So jumping into the nitty gritty for today. So Onome, did he are you still there? What happened? I think I lost him. So yeah, I wanted to basically ask Onome what he think. Okay, I think he joined back.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
I'm back.
there?
I'm there. I can
Okay,
hear you.
perfect. Okay, perfect. So, how would you say if we are to rate the Nigerian market in the first half of the year out of 10, with 10 being the like excellent, with 10 being excellent, and 5 being average, and then 1 being poor? What would you rate it?
I mean, it depends on how you rate it. If you
Yeah,
are looking at it from the angle of just pure performance, so far this year the all share index is up about 17 or so percent. So the index measures the average performance of stocks. If you look at it from January to what July, right? That's about seven
yeah,
months. It's up 17%. So from that angle, markets have done well. If you divide it into sectors, I mean, obviously some sectors have done better than the others. If you look at the telco space, they've done amazingly well. You look at the banks, some of them have done quite well. Oil and
yeah,
gas, just there, and like consumer goods, they've done well. So, some sectors have done better than the others, but all in all, I think it's been a good year if you're just looking at it from the angle of have I made money on average? I guess you should.
yeah,
But if you're looking at it from the angle of deeper things, which is to say, we have about 5, 6 months to the end of the year. How many new companies do we have listed on the exchange? That there are not so many. If I recall
yeah,
correctly, I think we've had more than maybe 2 or 3 new listings on the exchange. So yeah, it's been a mixed bag, but all in all, I think so far so good. And even when I just look at social media and I see the activity, the enthusiasm, it's amazing, really. If you're looking at it on a day-to basis, some days I can't remember the last time. It's been a while, a couple of years, where you see on a given day you have three, four, five, six stocks doing 10%. So that's really, really rare.
Yeah.
You're having companies hitting some all-time highs, some 52-week highs. So all in all, I think it's been a fairly good year so far.
Okay, perfect. We have the likes of Better Glass. I've done almost 400% because I'm actually currently working on a video like on the top performing stocks, and then looking at Better Glass, it's done 400%. But my problem with Better Glass is, I think will I say it's an illiquid stock in the sense that most of the people that benefited from the rise of Better Glass are not necessarily retail traders; they are more of insiders, right? So I wonder why that is the case. um if you go on Twitter, you see people complaining about having shares that have risen in price, and then to liquidate or to sell their shares is now an issue. I think that's one of the things that is even actually holding the market back. So what do you think?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
great,
Yes.
great. So I don't have to reconnect. So I won't say I wouldn't say it's an insider thing.
Yeah.
Um, the challenge with those stocks is a lot of those stocks are held by institutional players.
Yeah.
Um, so if you have 100 shares and 70 shares or 80 shares or 90 shares are held by one person, it means that you have very few shares available to trade. So obviously, when the market was rising, those shares went up, but the few shares available for people to buy and sell meant that getting in is not a problem, but getting out can be a problem. And in some
Yeah.
cases, getting in
Yeah.
is a problem because if you take better glass, I think better glass should be close to 400 or so. If you want to buy a million shares of better glass, you'd struggle. I don't think you can get a million shares to buy.
Yeah.
It's the people who have a million shares. Very few people have a million shares in better glass. And the people who have a million shares in better glass, most likely they they wouldn't want to sell. So I mean, for stocks like that, then yeah, you struggle. And ideally, in my mind, one of the things people need to look at when they're investing is what's the liquidity of the stock, meaning on average, can I get lots of shares to buy and sell? Is there a large volume, buy and sell volume? If there is a large one, you can easily get in and get out. But you see cases whereby number of shares and some like what 5,000 shares, 10,000 shares trading.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of that kind of market or that kind of stock. So you need to know that if you're going to get into a stock like that, you're going to be there for a while. And except I mean, so in my view, ideally people should retail investors shouldn't even bother getting into those stocks. But sometimes when you look at the quality of stocks on the exchange, some of the really, really nice well-run firms are not liquid. So you just have to pick
Yeah.
the battle that you want to get and go with it.
So that's the issue I'm talking about. Like I'll do research now. When you look when you do research, because before you invest, definitely you have to research, right? Then you do your research, and then you find out that okay, these are solid companies that I want to invest in on the for the long term or even for the short term. And then you now find out that okay, this stock is not liquid. And then maybe you finally invest in the stock, and then it's going up and going up and going up, and you want to get out, and it's now a major problem. I saw someone complaining on Twitter that he has his Geregu, Geregu now, his
Yes.
shares, yeah, is around 1,000 or thereabout, and then for him to sell, he says in huge profit, but for him to exit is now a problem. So there are high chances that nobody wants to buy at that price, even though it's a very solid company. So for me, I think that is actually because I don't think these kind of issues are faced in the US, especially with big companies, unless maybe penny stocks, which I think might be having those kind of issues in the US. But here in Nigeria, we have big companies that are even in the NGX 30, and then they are doing well. For you to exit is now a major problem. So yeah, I hope that we're able to scale past that on the long run, though. So yeah, what are you looking at now in the market for the second half of the year? Like, which sectors do you think would do well? Do you think the sectors that performed well in the first half would still continue that momentum? Like, what are you seeing for the second half of the year?
I mean, I think the key first is I look at every sector, but the key sectors for me, I mean, obviously insurance. Yes, in the last couple of weeks, a lot of insurance
Yeah,
companies have been trading high volumes. Some of them are trading at all-time highs or 52-week
yeah,
highs. Um, One of the drivers or what's driving the performance in that market is you have a new insurance act that's supposed to be signed by the president anytime from now. So maybe that might ginger that space. Maybe you might see a couple of mergers and acquisitions.
yeah,
So I mean, obviously insurance is there, but even with all the rallies and price appreciation we've seen in the market,
yeah.
um, I think there's still room because you have the insurance space. A lot of them are still trading cheaply. You have the
Is
banking space. The banks are a bit
yeah.
trickier because some of them have to raise money. But the thing about the banks is once we have this
They
whole
say your audio is
forbearance,
not that clear. They say your audio is not that clear. I don't know if
okay,
it's
let me know
yeah.
if you can hear me. But can you hear me?
I can hear you personally. I don't know. Some
Okay,
people
so
say
if you
your
can, yeah, so if you can hear me, then I guess we're good. Yeah.
okay.
So like I to take it again, I mean insurance because you have a new insurance act that is about to be signed. Banks once we sort out this whole forbearance issue, I think
Yeah,
banks will be a great place to deal in and all that. Um, Telcos maybe I think there's some room because we don't have a full picture yet, but the coming quarter will give us a few picture of how well they benefited from the tariff increase. We saw parts of it, but the last 3 months that we're expecting will give a
yeah,
broader and more comprehensive picture. So, I mean, those are the sectors. Then the brewing space, yes, they've done well, but I think there's still some room to run there as well. So those are the sectors I'm interested in at the moment.
they are complaining that they can't hear you clearly. I don't know if it is. I think it's your network. People are complaining that they can't hear you clearly. Can you
I,
guys hear me? Let me be sure they can hear me. Can you
okay,
guys hear
let's
me? If you can, yeah. Let me just be sure they can hear me. Then we can confirm yours. Can you guys hear me? Please drop a comment if you can hear me clearly. Let me be sure. If you can hear me clearly, please leave a comment. Let me be sure. Let me be sure they can hear me because people are complaining. Let me see. Okay, some people are. Can you guys hear me? People are. I don't know if they can hear me. I just want to be sure. Okay. They say they can hear me. They say Oladimeji say he can hear both of us loud and clear. Nah, me too. Perfect. Okay, Onoma, you can talk. Go on. Let me be sure they can hear. They are saying they can hear both of us. So go on.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right,
Can
great.
you guys hear Onome?
Can you hear
Can you
me?
guys hear Onome? Uh, yeah, they say yes. Yes. Yeah, go. They say go. Go on. Go on. Oh, Onome has left again. I think his network is bad. So, guys, I just dropped a link in the comment section in case you want to join us live. Um, there's a link you can use to,
Yeah,
to
I've
join the
rejoined. Can you
conversation.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yours is better now.
Oh, great. So I had to rejoin again. I don't know
Okay.
how are you going to be able to put all the pieces together because I've rejoined like 3 times. How are you going to be able to
It's
manage
fine.
it?
It's fine. Let's just manage it. It's Nigeria. We just have to manage. Compromise.
Okay.
Let's
So
go.
I'd just like to address something. I don't know whether the comment was for myself or yourself. Somebody was saying you're always recommending universal insurance.
Yeah.
Um, so I do a pre-market video every day
Yeah.
around 9:30, just before the market opens.
Yeah.
Now I always like to state that my videos are not investment advice. Um, Especially my pre-market videos. Pre-market videos are about market sentiment. So if I see a stock that typically trades 1 million shares and it's trading 200 million shares, I'm going to write about it or I'm going to
Yeah.
include it in my watch list for the week. So my watch list isn't about fundamentals. It's not a buy. None of everything I say or everything I do,
Yeah.
it's not a buy, sell, or hold recommendation. It's just my view on the market. I'm 90% analyst, maybe 10% trader. So wherever I
Yeah.
see opportunities, I follow. Yeah. So just thought to address that. Yeah.
I think they are referring to me actually because I once said when I did I researched for Universal last I think earlier this year, and then I liked what I saw, and I was like, he's one of the
Okay.
stocks I'm going to be looking out for this year, so probably that was why. But I usually also
Okay.
give a disclaimer that whatever I call is not financial advice. You have to also do your own research, definitely. So
Oh
we
yeah.
have okay. So go on.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So those are the sectors I'm looking at. Banking sectors because I think post forbearance, um, some of those stocks they might dip a bit, but they should recover because the forbearance essentially means that look, banks need to clear out all your bad loans, sort them out, or make provisions for them. So once they do that, um,
Yeah.
people have a brighter picture or clearer picture. I mean, near term, I think GTCO is probably the biggest or highest on my list now. They should be trading in London sometime next week or anytime from now.
Yeah.
Once
Do you
this
think do you think Utiko's listing on London would affect their price here in Nigeria?
it should not in the immediate term. It should because if you look at it, it's. I mean, the fundraise they did was about around 0.4 or 0.04 cents. That's about 70 naira a share. The stock is trading around 80 naira. So in an ideal world, you should have the price in London and the price in Nigeria trade about the same thing. But if you go by what
Hmm.
Seplat has taught us, um, Seplat in London, I think it's slightly cheaper than Seplat in Nigeria. Obviously, exchange rate, liquidity, and Seplat in London is a bit more liquid compared to Seplat in Nigeria. So um, I think that yeah, with time, you probably would see an increase in the share price. But where the stock would become interesting is if we have an exchange rate crisis sometime soon. Then for a lot of investors, it will be a means of exiting because to an extent, when you look at Seplat and Airtel, that was one of the factors that kind of pushed up the price because investors that were stuck in Nigeria, all they had to do was to informally buy the shares in these companies, and then when they get to London, cross it, sell it, and they get their cash out. So
Oh
if we
wow,
have a bad
interesting.
exchange prices, maybe that might happen. But I mean, all in all, I think it's a good thing for GTCO listing and all that. And yeah, I think there should be a premium attached to the price of that stock just for the fact that they are listed in London, which is a major stock exchange in the world.
I'm trying to understand something else. Like I'm trying to understand something now because you have something you explained now, which I'm trying to wrap my head around. You said when Seplat listed in London, I was trying to understand how you said investors were able to exit from their Nigerian shares in Seplat in London. Like I did not really understand that explanation. Can you like walk me through so I can be able to understand what you just said now?
So what happened was there was a few years ago there was a difficulty in getting foreign exchange. So if I'm an investor, all I needed to do, or at least informally, something that's never been confirmed, but generally from the market you can kind of figure it out. I'm a UK-based investor. I need to get dollars out, or I'm a foreign investor. I need to get dollars out. I can't get dollars. So what do? I buy Seplat shares. I buy Airtel Africa shares. Why? Because they're listed in London and Nigeria. It's the same shares that are listed, right? It's not like you have a different set of shares. It's like how do I put it? Okay, let me put it this way. You have a phone, dual SIM phone. You can move your SIM from one SIM slot to another slot. It doesn't change
Yeah.
anything. Same thing, right? So the same thing. I buy Seplat shares in Nigeria. I can sell those shares, those same shares in London, and then get my money, and I get paid in pounds. So that was one way informally. A lot of foreign investors that had money stuck in Nigeria were moving their money. I mean, there are all sorts of methods. Some people use that method. Some
Yeah.
people use commodities and all that. So If we have a repeat, I hope we don't have a repeat, but if we have a repeat of that kind of issue, then yeah, we might then see GTB in play. If that happens.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. So we have someone that joined us here. Akax. Let me see. Um, Akax, can you hear me? Someone joined us. So I'm trying to have him speak. Can you hear me? I think you're muted. We can't hear you if you.
Are we still live on YouTube?
Yeah, we are still live on YouTube. Someone joined us. Like, I'm trying to have people join and then they get to ask their questions live. So if you have any questions as well, you can leave in the comment section. We'll get to answer your questions. That's the purpose of this live session. So if you have any questions, leave a comment and then we'll be able to like have a conversation around your question. Or you can join us live using the link in the comment section, the link you're seeing here. You'll be able to come up here and also speak with us live on this call. Akak, we are still waiting for you to speak. Do you have any question? Um, you're not audible. We're not hearing you. Okay, that's by the way. So let's talk about there's this company now, Ella Leaks. You know of Ella Leaks, right? What do you think about that company? It's been showing some signs of going up. I don't know if it wants to follow the footstep of what's this guy's Okomo Oil, right? What do you think about Ella Leaks? I analyzed the stock the last time, and I felt that even though they are yet to make any money, I think that they have all it takes to do well on the long run. What do you think about Ella Leaks? Oh, normal left. Okay, Chido say he can hear us loud and clear. Perfect. If you'd like to join us live, there's a link you can use
Yeah,
to
I'm back.
join.
I'm
Yeah, you're
back.
back again.
I'm back again. So I think the thing is,
Yeah,
if and I mean, okay, so if you're going to value Ella Lakes, and
yeah,
I think I have a video on this on my channel as well.
yeah,
You have to value it based, or at least then, few weeks ago before the recent movement in price.
yeah.
Um, it was trading slightly cheaper or largely cheaper than the other stocks in terms of price to book value. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but my
Yeah,
video is there and all that. So a lot of, I mean, generally speaking as well, there's been there's been a lot of enthusiasm about the agricultural sector.
yeah,
Um, so some of that, I mean, everywhere. I mean, you have Ella Lakes, FTN Cocoa, Okomu, Presco. They've all been doing decent um, performance in terms of appreciation. So Ella is a company that I would say um, has or is taking baby steps and all that. So that has kind of what has prompted the I would say the enthusiasm about this stock. And obviously, a couple of weeks ago, they brought out a notice that look, we're going to seek approval from shareholders to raise 250 billion. They want to use that 250 billion to acquire a company, which is even more exciting because people are wondering, I mean, what do you want to buy with 250 billion? So some of that has also prompted the movement you're seeing in the price of Ella Lake. So I mean, it's a company that um, has is still on it's on its way up, and so then
okay,
one would have to see how well they'll do the next couple of years. It's nice to know that okay, yes, we have um, the plantation up palm plantation because they're into palm oil and cassava, but primarily at the moment they have other things they're doing. So I think a
yeah,
lot of that news just around the company and the recent 250 billion plan raise is what has led to the movement in upward movement in share price. And beyond that, where the share price will trade depends on one, what they plan to do with the 250 billion and the performance of the company in the next couple of quarters. Yeah.
okay. So B, you can see he has just gone through Ella Leaks because she asked, as the Ella Leaks is high, should I buy more or hold? so you can, you have gotten on immense insight. So we have another question here. Let me see, just highlighted, what's the stock that you have on your watch list that are yet to move for long-term hold? So I think this person is basically, this is from Collins. He's basically asking, which stocks do you have on your watch list that are yet to move or that are for long-term holding? I don't know if there's any stock you're watching
I
closely.
mean, not necessarily stocks, maybe more of sectors.
Okay.
So, insurance sector definitely is one that I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye on the insurance sector because
Yeah.
there's an insurance act that is supposed to be signed
Yeah.
time from now. A lot of those stocks um, are trading cheaply, and Nigeria is one of
Yeah.
the few places whereby you have um, insurance companies that, like, I mean, all over the world, insurance companies are supposed to be huge, but Nigeria, the banks are huge insurance companies.
Yeah.
They are tiny, so that's odd. Then two is I think the oil and gas space is an interesting place because a lot of
Yeah.
the a lot of the acquisitions that have been done by these firms, they are not they're either not they're not fully priced in, or it's we're just still getting more information about them.
But oil and gas is down. Like I'm wondering, is it because of what is happening in Iran or what is that? You have the likes of. In fact, when I was doing my analysis, the that sector is particularly is down by I think over 10% or thereabout. But now I think Orlando recently posted their earnings and all that, and then they did crazily well. Even though my issues with Orlando is corporate governance, but like, what do you think about the oil and gas sector? Do you think it's going to like come back up? What do you think about that sector particularly? Oh, I think he's off. Uh, okay. Someone say you can't sell shares in the UK. They use different brokers.
Yeah, yeah, back.
Okay. You're
Um,
back again.
so yeah, I'm back. So the
Yeah.
thing is, let's divide the oil and gas into two. You have upstream and downstream, right?
Yeah.
Downstream, which is the guys you buy petrol from, the run petrol stations and all those things. I'm not really a fan of downstream because the profit margins in that space are tiny. I mean, even when you take a company like Total Nigeria as one of the biggest downstream players, on every 100 naira, they're making, again, I mean, it's around 5 naira in profit you're making. What's the essence of, I
Yeah.
don't believe in buying companies like that because in a country where inflation is about 15, 20 something percent, and your profit margin is what, 2, 3, 4, 5%, it doesn't make sense buying it.
Yeah.
In my view, at least, you know, except you're getting at a really good price where you have potential capital appreciation. So I'm not a fan of downstream. If it's upstream, crude oil exploration, oil and gas processing, gas and development and all that. It's a major sector in the Nigerian economy. Uh, Whatever you may feel about the current government, one thing you can say is that they have taken some great steps in that space. I think some of
Yeah.
that, and we may still see more in all that. So a lot of the oil and gas assets that were really recently acquired, or whether wholly like Seplat and MPNU, whether it's
Yeah.
jointly like Aradale and Shell transaction, a lot of those assets within the next 6 months to 1 year, a lot of them can be further optimized to produce more, and that should filter into the valuation of these firms. Yes, some of them, I mean, Seplat, if you check all the Seplat documents or the IR page, they're giving you forecasts. Some of it is in the
Yeah.
works, it's partly reflecting. But I think you need a year or so to see the full scale of these transactions that they've done. And in the case of Arendelle, um, I think also Arendelle, maybe the difficulty with Arendelle is because a lot of the acquisition they did, the shell asset acquisition they did is a joint venture. It's a bit hard to kind of model it. But in next coming quarters, management, I was on the last Arendelle call and they say, look, we're going to give some more insights and all that. So really, at least that side, um,
Yeah.
it's the sector I'm interested in. So whatever oil does, even if oil goes down to $40-50 a barrel. Which, in my view, I don't think oil is going, except the world really something crazy happens, which is good for oil. I don't see oil trading at maybe worst case scenario 45-50. So with 45-50, I know that Seplat will be fine.
Yeah.
They're hedged around 55 or so, so that should help. Aradel also, yes. Remember, Aradel is not just about oil exploration. They have a refinery that they are running and all that. So, head or tail, they benefit from ups and downs in oil. So, I think that's the sector that is quite interesting as well. And then the brewery space, for a lot of the breweries, a lot of them are trading um, cheaply at the moment.
Cheaply.
Yes, some of
Wow,
them have
interesting.
rallied. Yeah, they're still cheap because I mean, what's Nigerian breweries trading at today? Nigerian breweries is less than 100 naira a share.
Yeah.
I mean, like when I started to cover this market as maybe 2013, 2014,
Oh, wow.
2015, Nigerian breweries was 100 naira plus or 70, 80 naira plus.
It's in now fell. Yeah.
100 naira.
Crazy.
Then it doesn't make sense. And if you have a 2-3 year outlook, how I view stocks, how I analyze stocks is to say, look, um, this year is already gone. Any madness that will happen, except something crazy happens, this year is almost over. So the question is, how's next year going to be? You have to look at it globally and locally. Locally, next year is an pre-election year. There's a lot of spending.
Yeah.
What sectors? And that's one thing that's certain. You are going to have by second half of next year. You are going to have a lot of spending filtering in. What are the sectors that will benefit from that spending?
Do you think because can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, do you think like because next year is pre-election, right? So I'm thinking because we are basically in a bull run currently. The market is going up and up and up. We are yet to like see any downtrend and all that. Do you think with the coming election or with the pre-election and all that stuff, do you think it's going to affect the NGX? Like, are we going to now start seeing maybe a bearish run in the market? I think Onoma is gone. Mr. Bote, it's
Nika,
good to have you here. It's good to have you.
this
How you
is
doing now?
that this is Charles, your Charles on a
Oh,
mess.
I know. Now, all of us are together. I know. It's because I
Yeah,
saw Obote here, so that's why I'm calling. But I know it's
yeah,
Charles.
that's
But
that's
I forgot the name actually. But I know you. Like,
okay. Sounds
yeah.
good. So I've been listening to the conversation, and
Yeah.
Onome told me about this space, so I decided to like pop in because I tend to
Yeah.
we follow each other, we support each other. That's what we do, and all this
Yeah.
we are doing is just to help the retail investor who is kind of disadvantaged when it comes to trading in the stock market. And I've been
Yeah.
listening to Onome, like me and Onome, we talk like every now and
Yeah.
then. Even before he came on
Yeah.
here, we had already discussed, and
Yeah.
everything he's saying is 100% correct. Concerning the oil and gas space, right? Sometimes uh, investors should try and look beyond the balance sheets of these companies.
Mm,
Do you understand?
mm,
Because there's more to the balance sheet than what there's more to the balance sheet than what is reflecting in the market, and that's why I
okay.
always try to tell investors, do your research, go way and beyond what every other person is doing to get your information. And there are a lot of podcasts, there are a lot of educational material like what you do and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When you listen and then you, as much as possible, try and get into people in that space, they'll be able to advise you better. So for those things you are not seeing, they will tell you this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Like yesterday, I was listening to one of the experts in the oil and gas spaces,
Yeah.
Miss Rolake Filani. She was on
Okay.
uh, Drinks I Might
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
podcast
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
by
I just listened to their
organized by
podcast.
Ugodre Tunji and Arnold.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were certain nuggets she was giving on that
Yeah.
program. So if you just look at it from the balance sheet point of view, you might not get the full picture.
Yeah.
So she was saying that the kind of deals she is seeing in the oil and gas space in the last couple of months is more than anything they've seen in the recent past. And also, if you take into cognizance that some of these companies have just consummated their deals, We have not seen the synergy of what they are doing yet. Okay, so you look at Seplat, the annual gas plant just started. Okay, all you'll be getting is probably from crude oil. Now, gas is going to contribute. You know, you look at stuff like that. You know, it makes you, if you're a discerning investor, you don't wait for the news to break out before you start wanting to rush into these stocks and stuff like that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a question.
Mr. Charles, just let him answer the question, then we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think this time next year will be a bit different. Different in the sense that now the market is largely driven by domestic institutional players. So as an institutional guy, regardless of election, it's normal you have pre-election tension, controversies, conflicts here and there. It's normal. But really, and if that happens and it's really bad, prices might come down. But the way I look at it, how I look at Nigerian stocks is if you take a 2-3 year trajectory, at least you can predict 2-3 years in terms of policy, in terms of market, to an extent, maybe in terms of exchange rates. It's not a big deal because when you look at some sectors like the oil and gas sector, regardless of whoever becomes president, oil and gas, they're in a good place. They're following established policies. You're looking at the telco space. So yeah, there are some sectors like the banks and all that maybe are a bit more sensitive. But there are also sectors that are not sensitive. That really are almost untouched by whoever becomes president or whatever ups and downs. It doesn't matter. And ultimately, it's about valuation.
Sorry, I want to come in because this is very, very important. If this was the US now, if this was the US market, like the Nigerian market is a little bit different because I noticed that most times news really move stock prices, right? If it was in the US now, if just a little news can basically shake the market. And I think that is actually I think that actually helps the market because in Nigeria, for example, there was a time something happened with GTCO and VDM and all that stuff. Some people were thinking that with that news outbreak that the price of GTCO is going to go down and all that. And I don't think it even shakes the stock price. But if it was in the US now, you notice that VDM, who is a very popular individual, had some issues with GTCO and all that stuff. Definitely the prices is going to shake a little bit. And you as a smart investor, you know that okay, this is the right time for me to go and buy and all that stuff. Don't you think that is a problem here in Nigeria? Because since news really affects stock price, you cannot position yourself properly like that. You just have to be waiting for, when you find something unique for you to now buy in. I hope you get my question or where I'm coming from.
Yeah, I got your question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
So, it's a problem, but you see, the biggest problem in the Nigerian market right now is liquidity. And it's a very simple problem that can be fixed. It's a very simple problem. You can say, look, rather than having a minimum of 100,000 shares traded to get some stocks trading, you can bring it down to maybe 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. Because there are some companies that you cannot get 100,000 shares. Barely, you can count them a number of times in a month. The big companies that have a high numerical value, your Seplat, your Nestle, your Airtel, you can barely get 100,000 shares. Barely. You can check the trading numbers. Barely. There are weeks that you don't even get 100,000 traded. So that is a problem that needs to be fixed. I think if you fix that, you see the markets react. Then also maybe because the market is not a domestic market.
But there is this data I'm seeing that we have more retail investors, or let's say HNIs in the market, or local investors in the market than foreign than the foreign guys. I know in the past you had the foreign guys that were more in the market than the retail than local investors. So I don't know. Don't you think at least since we have more local investors, definitely news like this should be able to move the prices of the stock?
It won't, because you see the average Nigerian investor, a lot of Nigerian investors are either they are buying for dividends or they are buying to trade. If you are buying to trade, we are not moved by the news. And anyway, negative news is always good because negative news that doesn't last long is always a buy opportunity. So um, I don't think that would really move the market and all. I mean, the market in a way has also kind of matured. Um, you need really, really negative, really positive news to move the market. Before there used to be a linkage between um, stock market, exchange rate, crude oil price. That linkage has kind of been broken. So even if crude oil prices come down to maybe 40, 50, yeah, some parts of the market, oil and gas, the banks, but really the market is domestic. A lot of investors have a long-term view. They are not bothered by the ups and downs. And sometimes a lot of the news you hear is really overblown because when you look at it, uh, Nigerian stock market is only a small part of the Nigerian economy.
Mm.
With the US, some of the biggest, if you count the top 20, 30, 40, 50 biggest companies in the US, most of them are in the US market. If you count the Nigerian market, there are so many companies that are doing 100 billion, 200 billion in revenue. I'm sure there are 20 or 30 of them. How many of them are in the Nigerian market? There are not that many. And even then, how many of them how many of them are even in the country? You count it. I mean, the tax guys have this information. I don't think you have maybe more than 100, 200 companies that are really paying large tax bills. I don't, maybe tops we are looking maybe 1,000. So it's really a small amount of companies that have that kind of size that are affected by market news. And of that small amount, is an even smaller amount of those companies that are listed on the exchange. And even if you look at it in Naira terms, how many companies are doing 500 billion or 1 trillion Naira revenue in the Nigerian and listed on stock exchange? I don't think they're up to 20. So you're not going to see that movement in market because the stock market here is kind of disconnected from the economy because a lot of the companies by size are not on the exchange.
Interesting. Interesting take. I see. That's a very insightful one because we heard our president say that we want to achieve a $1 trillion economy, and I really believe with all my heart that for that to be feasible, the stock market has a role to play there, right? I don't see how we get to that without the stock market. The stock market is a very very important sector of any economy that is looking to grow. But if we were to say if we are to talking about liquidity now, if we are to solve that liquidity issue, I know you are trying to like talk about how it could be solved, but I did not really get your insight properly. How do you think the issue of liquidity could be solved in the Nigerian market?
Remove the 100K rule.
Okay,
That's all
remove the
that needs to
okay.
be done. Remove the 100K rule and let stocks trade freely. Remove it.
Mm,
I know that the worry of the exchange is, oh, you do that, then maybe manipulation will happen.
yeah,
But you see, you can't divorce price from value. You cannot divorce price from value. If a store and value is very easy to calculate. You have earnings, you have revenue. Those are the numbers you use to calculate value. You have growth. So
yeah,
if I mean if you manipulate a stock or if the market pushes up a stock beyond its value, it will come down. That's the
yeah,
truth. It's now left up to investors to know what am I buying, what's the value of what I'm buying. Is it overvalued? Is it undervalued? Is it fairly valued? So to my mind, remove that 100K rule and let all
yeah,
stocks trade freely.
yeah. Okay, okay. That's insightful. So we have Mr. Charles here. Mr. Charles, we have been listening to us, and I know you are saying something previously. I would love to hear your own input.
Okay, so first and foremost, as per news not moving our market, that's a reflection of how many people who take
Mm,
part in the stock market. Do you understand? We have a very big problem of the a lot of people are not active in the stock market. So as at the last count, we heard there were only like 100,000 active CSCS account. All
yeah,
right. So it's not everybody who goes to GTB or goes to Zenith or goes to UBA that is investing in those stocks. It's in fact stock investing is still something we have to do a lot of education on, you know, for for people to know that is one way of getting financial independence. It's something that is we really need to work on, okay? Because people are more
Yeah.
interested in Ponzi schemes rather than doing the right thing. You know, people want
Yeah.
to put 10 naira today and reap 200 million naira tomorrow. So that's the reason why a lot of times news does not really move the market any longer.
Yeah.
And again, the market is becoming very, very sophisticated. A lot of people think, oh, the market is going to crash. The market is going to do
Yeah.
this. The truth of the matter is, these days, be it in the West or wherever, even if you hear the market has crashed today, oh, Elon Musk has lost 400 billion of his net worth, right? Just give it
Yeah.
another 3, 4 days. They will gain like 10 times that amount. What am I saying here? Um, the market is so sophisticated these days that anybody who is afraid of a crash is like that man who is
Yeah.
waiting for prices of houses to come down in Banana Island. It's never going to happen. We've passed that
Don't you
stage.
think it's because of the 2008? Because I feel that the effect of 2008 is still affecting a lot of investors. Like you see them saying, "Do you know what happened in 2008? Do you know how
Yes,
much I lost?" That kind of stuff.
which is fine. But
Yeah.
there's one advice I have for people. Okay, you never win when
Yeah.
you leave the market. You never win when you leave the market. The only way you can win is remain in the market and see what's going on. So I can take them back to the COVID period where the stock price of everything was on the ground floor. NACO was 2 naira.
Yeah.
NACO was 2 naira during COVID. Okomo and Presco were in the 50 naira range. What's the price today? And what people are not factoring into what is happening in the Nigeria capital market is they have not taken into consideration the forex impact. Okay, like uh,
Yeah.
during like 4 years ago, the naira was relatively stable at 700 or thereabout,
Yeah.
right? It's 1500 now, and what that has done is like rebasing the prices of your stock of your stock, and that's why you have a stock like GTB trading way below
Yeah.
its book value. The only the only reason why we are seeing these prices this low is because of the liquidity stuff Onome is talking about. If foreign investors come into this market right now,
Yeah.
if there's if this stability we are experiencing right now, if this stability in terms of the geopolity and the naira is anything to go by, and then you're able to attract
Yeah.
foreign investors to come into our space. I'm telling you, they will push these prices up that those people are thinking there's going to be a crash will just be wasting their time.
Yeah.
They are just this our stock market is like I was there's this other guy, one of our counterpart, uh, TNI, Mudiaga. Mudiaga said
Yeah. 10, yeah.
it's only in the stock market you can still come into and find something to buy for below that 1 naira can buy for you. What can 1 naira buy in that economy? Nothing. But because again, we don't have this mind, people are not educated enough, enlightened enough. They don't know how to use the stock market to build wealth. They don't know little savings like that can go a long way. So anybody is scared of the
So
market
yeah.
crashing, I will ask him, what's the exchange rate? That GTB is 80 naira, right? Convert that to the dollar. 0.04. 0.04 cents. It's not even 4. That is 4 cents. So these are the issues. So all those fears are exaggerated. This market, we are just seeing the beginning.
Yeah.
What we are seeing now is the beginning.
So you think the rally is going to continue, even moving ahead past next year?
It will continue. Have you seen the results these companies are producing? Have you seen? Look, if we had companies producing the kind of results, if we had companies here producing the kind of results our equities are producing, our companies are producing, you won't see them at those prices.
Yeah.
You won't see them at those prices where your revenue is growing by over 100%. On go and look at the insurance space. Go and look at the insurance company. Me and Onome, we're always discussing insurance. So I tell people, okay, you look at the market cap of an insurance company, right? Then you go and check their cash equivalent and retained earning. Their cash equivalent and retained earning is almost at par with their market cap. We have not factored in their assets. We have not factored in their investment because insurance companies are basically investment vehicles. Insurance companies here, you can't buy them. You can't buy you cannot buy insurance companies here because they are very expensive stocks, so to speak, price-wise. So anybody who is thinking, oh, the market has gone up for so much, it's going to crash. You are wasting your time. So people see movement. You see movement in a stock.
That's insightful.
You see movement in a stock, right? And then you think the stock is being pumped, or you think it's being pushed, or you think it's being manipulated. The question I always ask is, go and look at the volumes. When you are talking about better glass, no matter 100K volume will just increase the price by full 10%. But you saw what Ella Lakes was doing. Ella Lakes was not just moving in price, it was moving in volumes. FTN Cocoa was not just moving in price, it was moving in volumes. What is happening? The government has some strategic policies they have put in place to divest or to diversify away from just crude oil. Last year, we had a 1,403% growth in cocoa production. What happened was they realized with the climate changes going on, they realized that Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana is going to be adversely affected. So Nigeria ramped up their production in that space. And that's the reason why there's a renewed focus on cocoa production right now. The government has set up a national cocoa management board recently. Okay? They are working to make sure that things begin to move away, not so that we don't depend solely on oil. You see a government, they tell you, oh, we are concentrating on blue economy. If I ask people what is blue economy, a lot of people don't know. But you have to listen to sound bites like that. That tells you the direction where money is going to from government. It tells you the direction where grants is going to from government. And then as an investor who is able to decide, you take position. You don't wait. People are waiting. Okay, LLA comes up all of a sudden. They say they want to raise 250 billion. Right? When their market cap is not up to 30 billion. And people are like, these people, crazy. Audio farm, did they have farm? Did they have this? My friend, think. You think the company is mad to say, I'm going to raise 250 billion when my market cap is not up to 30 billion. There's nothing I've not heard about Alex. Alex has no farm. Alex has no this. Alex has no that. Onome and I did our best to bring Alex to our Twitter space. And the CEO was there answering all the questions. We beg people, if there's any question you want to ask, come and ask now. Nobody listened. But when the guy has finished it, people will come and be talking rubbish. And I've told people, look, there are over 140 stocks in the stock market. Okay? If you don't like a stock, ignore it. Go to the next stock. Stop running down stocks. If Austin Lars can make movement in our market, what does Austin Lars do? We don't know. They make movement in the market, not to talk of companies that are really performing. So, like I said, rule number one, investing is not all about balance sheet. Rule number two, understand what you are investing in. If you follow those rules properly, then you won't make a mistake. You think I'll be buying? There are some stocks I don't think, when people are rushing to buy, I'm just laughing. Something that I bought like 6 months, 8 months, a year ago. You know?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. We have Tom here. Mr. Tom, you have been with us here for some time now. Do you have any inputs? Do you have anything to say? Do you have any questions? You can go ahead. You have the mic. Mr. Tom, can you hear me? You're muted. Okay. I think he's not speaking. We have
muted.
Dan. Yeah, he's muted.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good evening.
Good evening. I just have some questions because actually I'm a newbie in the Nigerian stock market, right? So if my question will not be too relevant to this conversation, people will let me know because I'm just starting now.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, my first question would be like, basically, like what was the best app for me to use to start, and like where do I start from? Like what are the ABCs to look at from starting in the stock market?
Okay, so who are you directing the question to so they can take it? Is it Mr. Is it Onome? Is it Charles? Yeah, let me know so I can have them
Actually,
answer the
anyone
question.
that is the same for me. Actually, I don't have an issue. Anyone can answer.
Okay, let me direct the question to Onome. I don't know if he's here with us. Onome, are you there?
I can take it, Mika.
Okay.
So basically, yes, I know it's easy to invest with apps and all that, okay? But I will still advise that you open a conventional stock broking account. And then the app can be like an added apparatus for you to invest. Okay? Because a lot of times I hear complaints about people using apps and all that stuff. If you are not really sophisticated and you start using an app, you will run into a lot of issues. I see people who use app from time to time asking, "Oh, I put something, it did not go through, or is this, or it's giving me a message." A lot of times, this app, they are meant to facilitate a straight through process. So if you put a bid for a stock and the price is right, it will just take it. But if it goes wrong, it gives you a message which you might not understand. And then because you are a newbie, you would think because you put that price, you've seen the price list for the day, your price that you put under normal circumstances would have been filled, but it's not filled. You begin to fret, you begin to worry. Okay? So I
Okay.
will always advise open a conventional stockbroking account first, so that get to learn how to use that, because a lot of them too, they have a web application, and depending on who the vendor for your broker is, there's a universal app where you can actually go and get connected to your stockbroker, and then you can make your trades. So last week we had somebody from Infoware. Infoware supplies is responsible for 80% of all the trades that happen on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. They were on our space last Sunday, and they have an app there which you can connect straight to your broker, and you can do what your conventional app does for you. Do you understand? So first
Yeah,
things
I
first,
do.
open a traditional stockbroking account that has uh, um, a web application. And then when you are used to that, then you can now start using this app. Because with your stockbroker, he can answer. You can call them. They will answer your questions. They will tell you how to go about your dividend and stuff like that. Your app will not tell you that. Okay, so if you're not very sophisticated, it's a little bit of a problem starting with an app. Even though I know it's easier for people to press their phone and make their purchases. And like if you need more education on this, you can talk to Micah. He will put you through.
Okay. Mika, if you have something to say, you can add
Bros,
on.
can you hear me?
Yes, Onome, go ahead. Onome, say something.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We
Uh,
can hear you.
No, it's Micah that is talking. It's Micah that
I
is
can hear
talking. Can
you.
you guys hear
I
me?
can hear you, Micah.
Yeah, I wanted to give proper context because okay. I wanted to give proper context because you mentioned about Twitter Space. I wanted to mention your Twitter handle so that they can follow you. My network is bad.
I can hear you, though. I can see Onome.
Can you guys hear me?
yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
yeah, I'm back now. As we can hear
Okay.
me.
I was trying to say that they should mention maybe drop their Twitter handle because they usually host Twitter Space where they also educate people about the stock market and share tips and all that stuff. So he was talking about the Twitter Space that they hold. So I think you guys should also give them proper context for those that might want to like follow you on follow Onome and Charles on Twitter and also listen to their Twitter space because their Twitter space is always very insightful. You guys will get to learn a lot. So I think you guys also give proper context of that for those that might not be aware.
Okay. Okay, so we
I'm,
usually
I'm
do
ref-
this.
yeah.
We
Go
usually
ahead.
do
Go
these
ahead.
Twitter
Sorry.
spaces. Myself and Charles co-host it. On Green Ticker Tales. So if you search for Green Ticker Tales, I've been seeing the comments in the YouTube live, so I would also respond to some of them. But if you check for Green Ticker Tales on Twitter, you'd find it there. Um, so usually every 2 3 Sundays, every 2 3 weeks, usually Sunday 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. sometimes 9 p.m. depending on how the conversation goes. What we try to do sometimes we discuss the general market. Sometimes we get CEOs of companies, whether they are brokerage firms, whether they are analytics firms, as long as the person has something to do with the stock market. We try to get them to come tell us what they are doing, come educate us, and just even share some light because a lot of times these things are there. These platforms are there. A lot of people just don't know them, and so they don't use them at all. So that's what we try to do. Recordings are also available from time to time. Put them on Spotify. So if you search for Critical Tales podcast on Spotify or everywhere else, you'd find them there as well. So either of them works. And just follow us or just drop a comment and we'll put you through. I don't know if these comments will still be available after the live. If that's the case, I'll go through them and answer
No, just what you do, you can still drop a comment and I'll pin it. After the live will be available. So you can just drop all the details on the live and then
Can
I'll
you
pin
hear
it for
me?
those that might want to like. Yes, I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
We
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Can you
I
hear
can
me?
hear you, Micah.
Okay, I was saying that Onome and Charles, people should like after the live, it's going to be I'm going to leave it on YouTube, so you can drop all the details, and then for those that might be streaming it later, I'll pin it just in case they might want to like check it out. They can pin it, and then they can check out all the details from there. So
Okay.
that's for that. Yeah. So someone asked a question. How can you open a conversational brokerage account when you're outside the country? Like me, I use an app. So I think this person is trying to say that since he's outside the country, he cannot open a normal stock brokerage account. According to him, he uses an app. So I think people should like help and break it down on how you can go about in opening a normal stock brokerage account from outside the country.
I'm outside the country myself. So I don't there's no problem. There's no problem with that. I'm in Canada, right? So there's no problem with opening a normal stockbroking account. If you want to open, we have actually brought a stockbroker to the space too, and there are a lot of good stockbrokers who would gladly open an account for you. And if that's an issue, the person can get in touch with me. I've dropped my Twitter
Yeah.
handle, and yes, that's no
Okay.
problem.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the country to open a normal stockbroking account. You understand? Like I said, the problem with using app is when things don't go well, it's difficult. It's always a problem trying to contact people with your normal broking account. I speak with my account officer. If I want to speak with my account officer right now, I'll just call him. If I want to buy something on Monday, I'll tell him, okay, I want to be number one on the queue for that this thing. Make sure you buy it for me. That you cannot do with your app and stuff like that. And yes, there's no problem. Whether you're in Nigeria, whether you're abroad, you can open a normal stockbroking account. And if you're interested in the app, the stockbroking firms that I use, uh, I can connect them through Infoware app they call Idia,
Okay.
and you can do your normal business transaction. So that's not an impediment for you opening a normal stockbroking account. The good thing about that is, so let's say, okay, Charms is going to do their right very soon, right?
Yeah.
And uh, your app is not going to help you with that. I agree the NGX has done something good in that aspect, in the sense that you can actually go on the NGX platform, and if you qualify for the rights, chances are you might be able to do it through their site. However, with your stockbroker, he's giving you information way before that time. He's telling you, okay, just make sure your money is ready so that when the time comes, you just fill the forms, he will submit everything for you, and you're good to go. That those are some of the advantages. You have unclaimed dividend. Your app is not going to be running around for you for unclaimed dividend. You need somebody to, at least, even if you go to the e-mandate website where you can actually do it by yourself. um, what I do with stockbrokers is, after you have filled out those that e-mandate form, that last copy where it tells you everything is okay, you send that copy to your broker, and then your broker can now get in touch one-on-one with the registrar, and they facilitate these things much quicker. Those are not the things you get with app. I'm not saying you shouldn't use app, but I'm saying let app be an addition to conventional, to traditional. Okay? Yes. And like I said, if you have any
Okay.
issues with, I've dropped my handle. You can reach me
Yeah.
on Twitter, and I will tell you how to go about it. It's not a problem.
Okay. So I think the person that asked that question is Tokwe, and he's here live. Am I correct? Tokwe?
Hi, Tokpe.
You're
Unmute
muted. You're
yourself.
muted.
Unmute yourself. Unmute the
Okay,
mic.
okay, okay.
Can you hear us now?
We can hear you.
I will mute the mic.
Okay, we can hear you now.
Yeah, we are hearing you now.
Yeah, I can hear. I can hear you.
So, like I said, It doesn't matter whether you are abroad or in
Can you hear
Nigeria.
me now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you, Tokwe. We can hear you, Tokwe. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Actually, before I started, yes. Can you hear me now? Hi, can you hear me?
We can
Yeah.
hear you.
Before I started,
Charles, can you hear me? Let me be sure it's not my own network.
I can hear you.
okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Maker.
Okay, I think it's always
Okay.
I think it's not
Yeah.
always
Before I started using
okay.
the app, that question is a very good question. Before I started using the app, I contacted a lot of brokers, and I was not getting a lot of feedback. So I now I'm actually using Afri Invest. So I could not get feedback from them. I send them mail so that they will register me on their own end. I don't know, probably because of distance. I don't know, and I can't come down to Nigeria to do that. So that's why I'm using the app. But it's my first time to hear this.
No problem. If you want,
I can hear you.
if you want to open a conventional stockbroking account, just get in touch with me. I will link you up. That
Okay.
account will be open for you in two days. Okay, in 2 days your account will be run. I
Okay.
have up to 5 stockbroking accounts. Okay, there was a particular stock I was looking for, and because I heard that particular broker, they were going to be warehousing the stock, I had to open an account with them so as to just allow me get the stock once they started selling it. My account was opened in 2 days. That's not even my major account. You understand? The good thing is
Okay.
I have a lot of good working relationship with a lot of these people who work as brokers. You understand? So if I'm recommending you now to a broker, they would quickly make sure that everything works out for you. So that we don't take too much time on this, you don't have a problem if you want to
Yeah.
open a conventional stockbroking account. Get in touch, write to me, talk to me directly, and we can take it from there. Okay.
Okay. So I don't know. Is it your mail? I will get your email or
So I'm
See
at
his Twitter handle.
on Bivins.
Okay.
I'm at Bivins1, BIVINS1. Okay. So just go there and drop me a direct message or say something on my Twitter account, and I will get back to you.
sorry, what do you call it? Sorry. Okay, I've seen it. What do you call your mail? Sorry.
Sorry,
I'm not getting. Okay, that's it on the wall.
at
Your
Bivins1.
mail.
No,
My
this is not
name
his
is
mail. This is his Twitter.
Twitter.
Okay. I can get you on Twitter.
Are you on Twitter?
I'm not on Twitter. I'm not
Okay.
just Facebook. But I
Okay.
can open it because of that. There is no problem. I can do that.
I can
If I get Micah, can I get you through Micah?
for
Yeah,
sure,
yeah, you
for
can.
sure,
Yeah, you
for
can.
sure,
Yeah, sure.
for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So do you have any other question? Where is that all?
No, that is all. That is all.
Okay. Cheers, man. So
Sorry.
Dan, okay,
Yeah.
someone wanted to say
Yeah.
something. Dan,
I
you
wanted
wanted
to
to say
say, like,
something.
let's say you open a conventional brokerage account, you have the app, you start investing, and you're outside the country. So when it comes to taxes, how does it work? Do they deduct the money automatically, or like do you have to pay capital gains, dividends eventually? How does it work?
Well, the new tax laws have just been passed, and we are still trying to get clarity on that. We are hoping Me and Onome, we are actually thinking of inviting the Senate chairman, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Insurance, and Banking, and hopefully we are working to see if he will come on our space one day to break these things down. As it is right now, it's still not very clear. But what I do, I'll just tell you what I do. Let me just make life very easy for anybody who's here. There are, I can transfer money from my bank account in Nigeria straight to my stockbroking account. In the absence of that, if I want to send money directly from here, I use apps like Lemfi or Wise. Okay?
Okay.
I transfer the
Okay.
money. I transfer the money straight from here to my stockbroking account. Once the transfer is done, I send them. I issue them. I send them the receipt, because for every transaction you have a receipt. And I tell my account officer, I've sent money, and they will acknowledge, oh, we received it. It takes less than a minute. Do you understand? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So for people abroad, right? For people
Yeah.
abroad, there's something I will always tell you. Okay, you are not in the business of wanting to be trading. Okay, you are
Mm-hmm.
not. You are. So instead of all this, oh, let me give uh 50 million to one of my uncle to build house for me. I don't. Everything I do in Nigeria, I'm in control of it. I'm not giving somebody money to go and facilitate anything for me. No. The only business I probably do in Nigeria is investing in stock. And I have my CSCS online. I see all my stocks. I see my portfolio. The day I want to do anything, let's say I want to buy a house, right? I will wear
Mm-hmm.
my short knicker and slippers, enter Nigeria, go. I would have maybe liquidated the stock I want to liquidate and use it to purchase the house rather than give money to somebody. So the point I'm trying to make is, for you who is abroad, you are not in the business of uh, trading. And if you are not trading, until you realize your profit, nobody is going to tax you. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Until
Okay.
so let's say you put 1,000 naira and your stock portfolio grows to 1 million naira. Until you liquidate, there's no tax on it. It's only when you liquidate that they will tax that stuff. So if you are thinking about the taxes, I would say, except you are selling for something, I would say don't even bother about taxes now. Okay, they do their 10% withholding tax on dividends. That one is clear. There's no argument about that. But for uh, if you have like Zenith Bank, you have like GTB, you have like Presco, you have like Okomo, what are you selling for? Except there's a major financial something that needs urgent financial attention. That's when you sell, and then you probably shoot the money to who you want to shoot it to do whatever they want to do. But anything apart from that, I would say buy and hold. You know, you are not in Nigeria to be waking up every the time the market is trading in Nigeria. You're probably sleeping if you're abroad, especially if you're in North America. You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
that's my advice for you. So don't think about the taxes yet. There's no time to be thinking about taxes.
Okay. No, the reason why I was asking is because like where I live currently, like if you are investing in the stock market, like in the European market, whatever the market is, and every year you have to fight for your tax. So some companies do offer the service, like they will be the one to send the percentage directly to the government, so you don't have to do anything. Then why they have another one, another regime, why you be the one to like do your tax every year? So I was thinking like, let's say eventually in the future, if someone to sell their taxes, their their stocks, or they have any dividends, like do the broker, do they like transfer the percentage directly to the government, or
No,
like do you have to file your tax eventually?
no. For the dividend, is Nigeria is we operate pay as you earn stuff. So for the dividend too, their 10% withholding tax is deducted from source. You understand? You don't have anything to do with that. Okay.
Okay.
And when we
Okay.
when we get to that point where I know what you are talking about, we do the same thing here. When we get to that point where uh, we'll start behaving like a matured economy, you can actually go to like if you have like a stockbroking firm which in whatever country and whatever stock brokerage you are using, year end you go and print your district. It brings out everything you need to submit to your accountant to do your taxes for you. We haven't gotten there yet in Nigeria, and when we get there, we'll cross that bridge. If I were you, I wouldn't bother myself. No, your stockbroker cannot touch anything in your account without your permission.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have another question here. It says, is it the stockbroker that will buy an asset from on your behalf, or you can handle it by yourself? This is another question.
Mika, we
Michael,
can't hear you.
we can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
You're not very audible.
Okay. Can you hear me now? See. Can you hear me?
Better.
Okay. I was saying that we have another question here that says, is it the stockbroker that will buy and sell on your behalf, or you can handle it yourself? So I think this is also a beginner asking a question.
Mm.
So yeah,
You can buy it yourself. Most stockbroker have web applications, So even if it's not on the app, you have a web application where you see the bid and offer positions of any stock you want to buy. So if you don't want to waste your time, you can just buy at the market price of what is available. But if you want to do Baba Ijebu and be waiting for a better price, you can put your bid on queue. If it gets feed, it gets feed. If it doesn't get feed, you try some other day. So you can do it by yourself.
okay.
And if you are not very good at doing it
Okay.
by yourself, you can send your mandate to your broker and tell the broker at what price you want your mandate to be executed.
Okay, perfect. So I think this question is Onome. Are you still on the call? Can you hear me, Onome?
Yeah, I'm on the call. I'm on the call. I just switched off my camera so that the network is better. I can hear you. I'll be following you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So we have a question. Someone says you throw more light on the insurance sector and give good reasons why it is a good buy and why they are not paying dividends. So I think the person just wants to understand, the insurance sector better and why you guys think it's is a sector to watch. And also, I think the key question here is why they are not paying dividends, because that is very true. Some insurance companies do not pay dividends, even though they offer great buying opportunity.
Okay. So, I mean, first thing is,
Yeah.
yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Nome. Go
Yes,
ahead.
yes, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, thing is, we have insurance companies that have been paying dividends straight for the last 10 years. I don't want to mention names because, like I said, unfortunately, I'm at the point where anything I say, people take it as investment information. So, I'm a bit careful. But if you do your research online, there are insurance companies that have been paying dividends, and in some cases they pay dividends, they pay the same bonus for 10 years unbroken, especially dividend wise. So you have insurance companies that in the last 10 years back to back have been paying dividends. Um, yes, then for the insurance companies that are not paying dividends, if they have negative retained earnings, so essentially they have incurred losses in the past that have eaten into their books till those losses become positive, till those books become positive in that aspect. To put it simply, they cannot pay dividends. It's like you have a tank that is empty, or you have a bucket of water that is empty. If the pocket is empty, you can't fetch anything from the pocket. You cannot take water from an empty pocket. You need to fill that pocket before you can take water from it. So, then as to why I say I think insurance company has potential. Look, we if we pursue insurance properly in this country, even from the government standpoint, the federal government standpoint, state government standpoint, there are many of these federal, state agencies, parastatals that are supposed to be insuring people, insuring assets. They are not doing that insurance. Um, so even something as simple as a house, if you own a house, typically you should have insurance on your house. We don't have that here. We're not enforcing it. So really, I think to some extent, I don't know the final form of the act, but from the earlier forms of the insurance bill, I've seen some of those things may be addressed. It's not perfect bill, but it should help at least improve the industry in that aspect. Fourthly is, or lastly is from a valuation standpoint, as Charles said, and it's there, their numbers are there. Go to the NGX corporate disclosure. Just Google NGX corporate disclosure. When you get there, search the name of any insurance company, go and check their financial statements. Yeah, you still have, even till now, you have insurance companies that um, are trading less than the value of cash they have, or less than the value of assets they have. And a lot of times, the biggest chunk of assets for insurance companies is financial assets like treasury bills and government bonds. So you can see a situation whereby an insurance company can have maybe 4 billion, 5 billion, 10 billion in financial assets like treasury bills, government bonds, essentially low risk government assets. And that insurance company is trading less than that. So even if you're going to buy that insurance company, you can't see insurance company with maybe 5 billion or 10 billion worth of assets and it's trading at 2, 3 billion. It doesn't make sense. So these are the reasons why um, I am very much I think it's a space that has a lot of potential. And I mean,
Mm.
a well-run insurance company is a cash flow machine because you're getting money from your investments, you're getting money from premiums. And so the well-run insurance companies on the exchange, they are doing well. I'm without naming names, but just you go online, go check my previous content. I've done a bit of content on insurance companies and all that. Check them out, look at their numbers, look at their assets, and then you work out um, what you think.
Yeah. Okay. That was a good one. So another question we have here: when you guys say do your research, what exactly do you want people to research on? Please, you get the question right?
I got the question. Yeah, I saw the question in the chat as well. So when we say do your
Yeah.
research, the primary place you start from is you start from your company's financial statement. Financial statement you can compare it to a report card. When you go to school, you have first term, second term, third term. You are given a report card. Report card states the subjects you attended, how many times you were in class, how you behave, and all that. So companies also have financial statements, which is to say the funds that we are using to run the business, the revenue we are generating, the assets and liabilities that we have. Every 3 months, your financial statements, you have to submit them. So that's like a report card saying how much have you made, how much are you spending, the assets you have, the liabilities you have. Essentially, all the numbers pertaining to the business. Every 3 months, companies file those numbers. They submit those numbers to regulators. They release those numbers to the public. Anybody can go and access them. NGX corporate disclosure. So you take those numbers, look at them over the last 4, 5 years. How well has this company been performing? What are the factors driving this? Um, what are the factors that may work against them? And you look at those numbers and then compare them to other players in that space. Compare them to the general economy. If a company has been paying dividends, what's the dividend history? Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? How much of their earnings, how much of their profit are they paying out? What's the management like? The best way to work out if management is good, go to their competition. What are the competition saying? Who are the people they feel like competing against them? If it's an industry that has few players, who are the players in that space? What are they saying? So those are the numbers. When we say look at numbers and do your own research, those are the things you need to do. So the essence of saying do your own research, again, let me also take it from the other angle. Two people can have 20,000 naira to invest. One person can spend that 20,000 naira and lose it and forget about it. One person can lose 20 naira, 1,000 naira and fall sick for 1 week because of that money. So it's
Yeah.
your money. You have to, the same way you decide what you want to eat, what you want to wear, where you want to stay, where you work, and all that. You also have to take that decision yourself as an investor. Nobody can take that decision for you because nobody knows you better than yourself when it comes to investing.
Yeah.
And on our side, on my side as an analyst, or just generally someone who has, I don't like the word influencer, but the honest truth is when you have large following, you're able to influence people and influencing people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I cannot just tell people, and so a lot of times people are saying, what should I buy? Should I buy this? Should I buy that? I can't tell you because I don't know you. Some I've seen cases whereby people are putting house rent in high risk investments, people are putting school fees in high risk investment. Of course, they're not going to tell you that they're putting house rent as school fees or they're putting retirement money there. They won't tell you that, but I don't want to be responsible. And fourthly, or lastly, if you tell someone when to get in, you also have to tell them when to get out.
And
And
to
that's
get
not
out. Yeah.
a responsibility that anybody wants because everybody is different. Somebody can buy a stock at 20 naira and they make when the stock hits 30 naira, they're out, they're happy. Someone can buy a stock at 20 naira and the stock goes down to 10 naira and they panic and they sell and they lose money. So that stock can move from 20 to 10 and back to 20 in 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
So those are the reasons why we tell people you need to do your own research. I mean, there's free research available online. Um, um, there is, I think Zcrest does amazing research. There's almost no
Yeah.
brokerage in the country that doesn't have great research. But at the end of the day, you have to decide. They will do their research. You have to read and decide based on what they've said. I think I'm going to buy, or I think I'm going to sell. Or you might even decide that maybe stocks are not even for you. Maybe go and do something that is less risky and all that, and then you can then take the returns and put it in the stock market. So those are the things you have to consider when investing in stocks.
Okay. Thank you so much. So the last question I've seen so far, which is from Every, it says, should we only focus on individual stocks or ETFs too?
I mean, you
Can you
can
hear
do.
me? Okay.
I hear you loud and clear. You can do both. It depends on the markets that you are based in, right? I mean, so for instance, for the Nigerian market, ETFs are not very they are not very liquid. Um, equity. I mean, the Nigerian market, to be candid, the Nigerian market, you probably are better off um, picking a bunch of stocks and monitoring closely because the ETFs are not liquid. Yeah, I mean the equity mutual funds are okay, but even when you look at the equity mutual funds and for those that provide details, it's still a bunch of stocks that they are holding, a bunch of quality names. So in my view, it's just that again maybe it's a strategy that suits people that are more active. If the mutual funds are holding
Yeah.
maybe 10, 20 names, why do you have to hold the mutual fund? You might as well just hold those names and monitor them. But if you don't have the time to do that, then go and do an equity mutual fund. But even if you are doing an equity mutual fund, terms and conditions apply. You need to understand what kind of mutual fund are you buying. Is it a mutual fund that they will reverse the returns back into stock? Is it an equity mutual fund that will pay dividends? If they are paying dividends, what's the dividend history? Those are things that you need to know. So ultimately, it depends on how you want to work. If you're an active person, I think Nigerian market, stock market is kind of more suited to people who are active, have a couple of names that you're monitoring in and out. That's something that you cannot do. Maybe you can explore a mutual fund, equity mutual fund, but still understand that ultimately, and I think this is something that people need to remember in these times, stocks are a high risk investment. So if you are dealing with a high
Yeah.
risk investment, you need to pay extra Don't just put all your money into the stock market or all your money into a particular set of stocks. You should have low risk, medium risk, and high risk investments in your investment portfolio. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have already spent more than an hour here, and before we go, I would love some input from Charles as well. And this is in regards to what he's watching in the market. Like, we have seen how the market performed this year so far. The SI is up by over 16%, and then we have the industrial sector, the consumer goods sector. They have been rallying upward. Do you think this is going to continue for the second half? And which stocks are you watching very, very closely in the second half? This is for Charles, and then to round it up, we'll now have Onome also take the question.
Uh, yes, like I said, the market has been underpriced for a very, very long time. Um, the Nigerians generally are very resilient people, and you can see this in the performance of the results that they keep churning out. A lot of you are in a country where policies can just come and without any warning they can derail you. But uh, what we've seen with the Nigerian and the Nigerian companies and the Nigerian enterprise is we never give up. And that is what is responsible for the surge you are seeing right now. Tinubu came, removed the subsidy. Everybody, everybody thought that was going to be the end. Nigeria moved on. There was no like palliative to uh, help alleviate some of those hardship that companies went through. A lot of companies have done very well. Um, Initially, it really affected them in terms of forex, but eventually, for anybody who is conversant with the market, like when people say like Onome was telling you, do your research. Do your research is your ability to be able to see these things. We don't want anybody to come and hold Charles Maker or Onome responsible because Onome said buy this or buy that or buy this, and then you buy, it's not going up for you, and then you come and say, it's Onome that asked me to buy. That's why we ask you to do your research. Onome has told you everything you need to do with doing your research. And in addition to that, after doing your research, go a step further. What is happening in the space? What is the government direction with the way they want to move the economy? So, for me not to deviate, the market will still go up. If what we saw with first quarter was anything to go by, what first quarter and the last quarter of and the last quarter of last year showed us was these companies are now beginning to recover from the harsh reality of FX. So uh, when we are seeing FX doing a lot of damages to these companies, we are looking at companies that were not affected by FX. And those companies today have moved over 200, 300, 400% for us. And it was because we did our research and we were able to look at, okay, with what is happening in the space, how this company is going to navigate the harsh terrain. Okay, I look at Dangote Sugar. Dangote Sugar was really affected by the forex factor. However, if you looked at their last result, you can see recovery is there. You look at the brewery space, they were really, really affected by forex. Okay, so companies like Guinness, Nigerian breweries,
Yeah.
uh, international breweries, they were all affected. But we looked at a particular company, we looked at that balance sheet, Champions Brewery, it was not affected. A lot of people will say, oh, it's manipulation that is happening in Champion. No, it's not manipulation. It's your ability to be able to interpret these things that makes you stand ahead of the crowd. So while we're busy buying up Champions at 3 naira, people are struggling to get into it at 12 naira now. You understand? And this will continue. Like they've just recovered. Now you are going to see actual growth. So that's why for those doomsday analysts who think the market is going to go down, you will have to wait for quite some time to see that. Because I will tell you, go and look at those results. The insurance space is very, very, it's a space everybody must watch. Like Onome has said, people don't know what's going on. I want investors to take their mind back to the banking space prior to Soludo's consolidation of banking. Okay? The banks were just like this. You didn't know what was happening. Apart from maybe First Bank and Union Bank that time. Every other bank was just, nobody knew. So there had to be series of measures to meet the new capitalization that banks needed. And then we now started seeing real growth, which is what is going to happen when the president, because that bill has actually passed second reading. It's just waiting for the president to assent to it. And then you will see what will happen in the space is there'll be a couple of measures. Some companies will not be able to meet the new requirements. So there'll be a couple of measures and acquisitions. And then there are some companies in the space that are already like, no matter what happens, they are ready. Okay? So when you look at a company like NEM, which at 18 naira looks expensive but very cheap, but that same NEM, we were looking at 50 kobo for God knows how long. If you look at a company like Custodian, these are very well-run insurance companies. So, and then Mansard, those three, I will classify as top tier one insurance companies. And then amongst the tier two, in fact, I will also put a company like Consolidated Hallmark there, Wapik, Coronation Insurance. Okay? Why those are solid insurance companies. Go and check their result. Go and see what they are doing. You don't have if you're any of those, you don't have any fear. But in that tier two, you're looking at the sovereign, the regency, the Guinea and all that. There'll be a winner there. There'll be one winner that would surpass that will surpass the growth of what you are seeing in tier one. Okay? Because I always tell people, before GTB gets to 200 naira, assets will probably get to 100 naira.
Well, okay. Let me understand what you're saying. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. I think assets. I don't know if assets have hit. Okay, go on. Let me just.
So So the point I'm trying to make is you have tier one, tier two, and maybe tier three in the banking space.
Yeah.
So I just gave an example of insurance companies in tier one. Let's say Custodian, Mansard, Consolidated Hallmark, Wapik. Those I would consider tier one because no matter what happens, those companies will do well. And then the others, I would say they will fall into tier two or tier three, right? Those in tier two or tier three, their growth exponential will be much greater than those in tier one. It's like Nestle.
Okay.
Nestle has been 1,000 for a very long time now, right?
Yeah.
Before Nestle gets to 2,000, Cadbury will get to 200. So why that would be like a times 5 for Cadbury? It will be like a times 1 for Nestle, times 2 for Nestle.
Yeah.
That's the point I was trying to make with the GTP and the Access Bank.
That makes sense.
You understand?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Again, this is where as a smart investor, if you're a papa, if you're in your 60s, 70s, 50s, and you don't want to be taking risk any
Yeah, go
longer,
for the
you go for those ones, just go my steady stream of dividend. I don't have time for anything to be disturbing my blood pressure. But for those that still have room to grow and they are young, I say go for growth. It's like somebody going to buy Presco now, right? When you can
yeah,
buy an Ella Lake, when you can buy an FTI and Cocoa, because they are in the agri space. So the insurance space is one space to watch. The oil and gas space is one space to watch because, like I said, after listening to industry insiders and what
yeah,
they are telling us, we haven't seen anything yet. We have not seen anything yet.
yeah.
NACO might look expensive, but I think NACO still has room to run. There are a lot of companies that are undergoing turnaround. There are a lot of companies that are... So, again, outside your balance sheet, listen to what's going on in the space. So, like I said before, the government actually has a ministry of blue economy, right? Which
Yes.
company in the stock exchange has anything to do with blue economy? Tantalizers.
Yeah.
Tantalizer
I
is...
have a problem with that tantalizer though. When I
Mhm,
looked into tantalizer, that
mhm.
stock it's going, but it is tightly held by like I call them institutional investors that are on the inside, right? If you check most
Okay,
of the trades, it's not necessarily done by retail traders. I think as
okay,
a retail trader, you can really even get access to that stock from what I'm
okay,
seeing, because I know I analyze it. Yeah,
okay.
go ahead,
So,
and it's going up.
so,
Yeah,
so, so you see, tantalizers.
yeah,
That was supposed to be like a quick service restaurant, transitioning
yeah.
into uh, fishing and
And media.
entertainment, and entertainment to the point that they're able to get the CEO of Niger Doc.
Yeah,
Somebody,
yeah.
Niger Doc CEO, come and start working for Tantalizer. What does that tell you? So there are certain things you see in the market,
I think
and
they bought them over. Is it not the one that I think they bought him over or something like that? I'm trying to
of course,
remember what happened there.
do you know what that
Yeah,
means? Niger Doc and quick service restaurant, to bring somebody
yeah,
from Niger Doc to quick, you think it's a joke. And if you
mm,
when we say do your due diligence, go and listen to the facts behind the figures when they went to the NGX. There was something Adams, the CEO, was talking about. He used to be of FCMB. The guy was saying
yeah.
that
Come on.
the problem, like he said, Nigerians are always talking about problems, talking about problems, talking about problems. But he says these expatriates will come into this country that we are talking about problems, and we have prosperous businesses, and we'll be shouting problems, problems, problems. So sometimes you look at the people running the company, you look at their drive, and then you say, man, I'll give you one nugget. I'm just going to give you one
Yeah,
nugget about the insurance companies, just one of them. You see, one of those insurance companies,
yeah,
go and check the major shareholders, okay? For one of them. That major shareholder, the major shareholders in one of the insurance companies that we've mentioned here, they have Arade as a
mm,
major shareholder. They have the CEO of Arade, which is different. Arade holds a different position from the CEO. So maybe it will be direct
mm,
and indirect holding. And then the CEO of NACO is a major shareholder in this same insurance company. Where am I going with this? You see these big shots, they always know how to diversify their wealth. They say, okay, I have taken NACO to this point, I've taken RRL to this point. Where do I maximize? Where do I go on next to make this money? So the due diligence I will give to anybody who's listening is go and find out the insurance company that is attracting this big shot. Mika, you are saying most of the purchases from the tantalizers are made by institutions. Why can't you be an institution? Get your small institution holding. I mean, like you have 500,000.
I get your point.
You know, don't hold it
Yeah.
now. You see people rushing. The thing is already. See the volume is trading. This is the time to buy it. The people want to buy when they hear, oh, their revenue has 10 times, and then they start rushing to buy, and you just be looking at them and smiling for something you saw long ago. So when people start buying into stocks that are on bid, I just laugh. They're wasting your time. So the market is going to continue to go up. I think I've given a couple of nuggets here. It's left for designing investors to go and do their research. I've mentioned everything I need to mention because based on like first quarter result, Cadbury, I mean, look at all the videos Onome is producing every day. He goes there and values the stock. Cadbury is going to do very well. There's a turnaround coming on with FTI and Coco.
So Onome, please, can you drop your YouTube handle or something on the comment section, please, Onome, so that people can also go and get insights.
I'll do that.
Onome's
I'll do that both on YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Onome's videos,
okay,
go there, listen, and watch. It takes time, and he tells you your price expectation, which to me are very conservative, but that's what it should be. That's what it should be. What am I leaving out? Okay, we are looking at. We haven't talked about the e-commerce or fintech space. So we look at CWG, we look at Intransact. They are definitely going to do well. They are going to do well.
Why do you think Intransact is going to? Because I don't know. I don't even know. Like, why do you think? For when it comes to WG, definitely this is a modern day technology.
That's what we say. Go and look at the
no problem. I'm yet to look at them, so I cannot say anything about them. But I know CWG is no problem. I'll go and take a look at Intransact. No problem.
Intransact,
yes,
is a payment solution, majorly owned by Access Bank. If you have looked at everything Access in the last year or two, everything with them they've just slowed down everything. Maybe it's the death of Herbert. May so rest in peace. That has
Amen.
But if you notice, everything there is just like on a standstill. Nothing is happening right now.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Everything that is connected with them is kind of on a standstill. But Intransact is trying to raise money, and I think they are going to probably do expansion into other African countries and European countries. If that happens, sorry, you can't even see high enough volume of that stock to buy. You can't. It's difficult. It's not the liquidity because it's tightly held. Anybody who has it knows what they are holding. I've listed too many stocks today, but again, go and do. That's why we say do your due diligence and be ahead of the game. Be patient. Be ahead of the game. As long as you are holding a company that is churning out results where revenues is 25% quarter on quarter, EPS 25% quarter on quarter. Hey, UAC. How could I have forgotten UAC? Yeah.
That's a very good company.
How could I have forgotten UAC? They got punished because of uh, because of their low dividend. And
Yeah,
Maker, with these companies, I
yeah,
don't just do my research and all that. I try to get in
yeah,
touch with the company, investors relations, or whoever. Do you understand? I try to get in touch
yeah.
with them, you know,
Mm,
and that's how we're
mm,
able to make these connections
mm,
to bring them on our
mm.
spaces. Okay, so my own
Yeah,
is I want
yeah,
retail investors to win. We don't do this for anything. We do it
yeah,
for us to win because we don't have any protection. We don't have anybody backing us. We are just there.
yeah,
But we are trying to build
yeah,
a community where everybody in the retail community is a winner. That's what we are trying to do.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Charles. I really appreciate your insight. Thank you so much. Onome, anything to say in regards to the question I asked before we hand up?
Charles has said everything. The only thing I would add
Yeah,
is when you look at the economy, there's only one factor, only one unknown issue that can possibly rock this economy, and that's if you were to have a major political crisis. And from what I see, I don't see that happening. So as long as you have your stable exchange rate,
yeah,
um, you have the the companies turning decent numbers, you have inflation gradually pulling back, slowing inflation pace is slowing down or at least decelerating. I don't see the issues. Those that will do well do well. Yeah, maybe some turbulence in the banking sector, but again, um, if you're an investor, you take a long-term view. So really, 1 quarter or 2 quarters or just one tough year. COVID times, these banks that we're seeing, GTB that is trading at 80 naira, COVID was just about 5 years ago. GT was trading at less than 20 naira, in fact, around 15 naira a share. Back in the days, Zenith Bank used to be trading at a higher rate than GT. Pre-COVID, both of them were below 20 naira. They were making 5, 6 naira in earnings. It didn't make sense. So you fast forward post-COVID, and GT is at 80 naira. Zenith is around 50 something naira or so. They are doing 7, 8, 9, 10 naira in earnings or profit per share. So for one if 50 naira share,
yeah,
they're making 5, 10 naira in profit. There's nowhere else in the world you see that. So I always tell people to always look at the numbers. There's enough research available, free research, quality research
yeah,
available online, but people need to educate themselves. Go and learn how to read the financial statements. There's a guy called Brian Ferrodi. He's all over YouTube, Twitter, and everywhere else. He breaks down how to read financial statements. If you can't do that, go and learn both technicals, learn fundamentals. They are all useful. I use technicals, I use fundamentals.
yeah,
I look at macros. So it's not just about the stock market. What are the factors, positive or negative, that are moving the market? As long as the positive factors remain, and I think they remain, then it's going to be a good year. If the positive factors change, what are the worst hits? Or what are the companies that won't be affected? So all in all, I think it's going to be a good year, and then also take even start from here. I think this is going to be saved. It's going to be saved. Anybody who's had network issues or joining late, go back and play this recording from the beginning to the end. That's the only way you learn. I like to say one thing, that Nigeria is a country where you don't talk too much. You say what you say, and some things you keep. So that's my own advice.
yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Before we round up, one more. I think we have a couple of questions, and then we call it a day. So, I know someone has answered this, but maybe if you have any input. So, someone asked, "Hello, Micah. Thanks for coming up with this initiative to enlighten us. Please, does rights also exist in Nigeria?" I know the answer is yes, but do you have any input to rights, which stands for Real Estate Investment Trust? Onome.
Yeah, you have a few of
And
them. I
okay, and the
think
last
there's
question is asked.
Union, there's Union,
Okay, go on, go.
there's Sky Shelter, and there is I think one owned by
UPDC
UPDC.
UPDC. So go look at
Yeah.
their financials.
and then Union Merit too.
Yeah, look at their financials. Like I said, everything you're doing, you have to understand that these are emerging markets. So you cannot just import what's happening in the same way you analyze US and UK and bring it here. You have to look at the local context. It's still the same maths that you do, but the environment is different. So
Yeah.
rates in the US are doing 10%, 7%, whatever percent. Inflation there is just 2 point something percent. You have to look at your numbers, know your investment strategy. So yes, they exist, but go do your research on the numbers, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then you can now decide if you want to invest or otherwise.
Okay. Thank you. Then the last, okay, here's another good question. Say, based on the recent submissions, what are the practical steps? I know that Charles has gone through this, but just for answering and giving input, based on the recent submissions, what are the practical steps to go for growth in investing in the stock market, especially for us that are still young and willing to take some calculated risk? Did you get the question, Charles?
I got the question now. I think we both got the question. Like we said, the person has to go back and listen to all what we said. We said literally
Yeah,
everything. You need to
yeah,
understand numbers,
yeah,
look at each sector, the different sectors in the stock market. What are the companies that are in the growth space? What are the companies that are in the turnaround space? I mean, so the person just has to go back and listen. Literally, we've mentioned everything that has to be said. You have to go back, you have to understand the numbers, you have to read, you have to know what's happening. Because a lot of times you don't look at just history, you look at what's happening now, what's going to happen in the future. If you are going to look at history, I don't think anybody will even invest in the Nigerian stock market because there's nobody that has not lost money. Because you can't, it's the
I'm telling
economy.
you.
The economy is the learning thing. It's like stocks are, I keep saying stocks are high risk. You make money, you lose money. But if you do your proper research in the Nigerian stock market, if you look at valuation, you cannot go wrong in this market. Because I mean, you have 200, I don't know, 100 and something, 200 and something companies. You don't need all of them. You just need 10, 20 maximum. You are good to go. So there's no way out of
Yeah,
200 and you pick 10 or 20 of the best companies, all of them can fail, all of them can go to zero. So you have to just do your research. Get a good broker. Charles has said, get a regular broker. Um, they have advantages that the digital brokers may not have. You can use both digital and regular broker. But as I am now, the same way I've been in and out of network on this course, because I've been switching networks. In the same way, you also have to have maybe I think two brokers is fine. If you want to use two digital brokers, two like all the regular brokers, it works fine. So we said everything that has to be said. Take your time, educate yourself,
yeah,
go watch videos, videos everywhere. I mean, there's TNI. I don't think there's anybody in this country who TNI has not
yeah,
spoken to that you can't get enough information. Very few people are doing 1 hour, 2 hours, 2.5 hours conversation. So we've said everything that has to be said. Go back and play this
yeah,
recording again. Go back and read. If you have the time, you have the energy.
yeah,
Naira Land stock market page is about I've forgotten it's like 6,000 pages. Go and read from the first page to the beginning. If you're able to even do the first 2,000 pages or the last 1,000 pages, there's no way you will not be a smart investor. You just have to do the work. So that's it.
Yeah, investing in the stock market requires a lot.
thank you so much, Onome. Oh, yeah,
Investing in the stock market
go on.
investing in the stock market requires a lot of
Okay,
education, experience. You have to learn. You lose some, you win some. The more you stay in the market, the better you become. The market, you don't run away because the market has gone down, because all those who ran away when the market went down are those who have really lost in the market. If you have been in the market all this while, you would have recovered and be in a better place today. So do a lot of reading, do a lot of education, know what basic investment is, know the basic ratios, and then you start going to fora like Green Ticker, like go to YouTube. You see, if this was shoot your shot now, we'll have over 1,000 people here. But when it comes to stock market and teaching people how to gain financial independence, there's no incentive to join spaces like this. So these are you must prepare yourself. You must be ready. It's not easy, but by the time you get to know how the market works, what you will notice is you will just find some group of friends. All of you will just be on the same page. When you call him like this, like when I call on Omena, I just looked at that one too. I just looked at that one. If I call Micah, Mike, okay, we tell so when you do it on a continuous repetitive basis, it just becomes part of you. At a point, it's not what to buy. It's you don't have enough
Yeah.
money to buy what you want to buy. You understand? So like the guy who was talking about rates, you understand? That brings me to UPDC. Micah, have you done any research on UPDC?
Recently, no. It was in the
Okay.
past when I looked into their financials, but I did not really like what I saw the last time. But yeah,
Okay.
so but it's been long.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. So I'm sure since that time, UPDC has gone from your one
But they
naira
are
to
doing
like
well now. I think I
yeah.
think they are doing well. Their homes are, when I check, I think they have almost filled up their homes, like, because they are basically into real estate and some other little stuff that they do. So I think they are doing quite well now.
They are
Yeah.
into they are into a lot of stuff. You understand? They are
Yeah.
into real estate. They have a standalone hotel. Okay, that
Yeah.
can stand. The hotel is actually bigger than Ikeja Hotel. Okay,
Wow.
and what I would tell people
Yeah.
is go and look at the properties UPDC has. Right? Go and look at their properties. Eh?
Yeah.
Go and check the
Yeah.
market cap of UPDC, and go and check the areas where they have properties in Lagos. Those places, if you don't have a billion naira, you can't even buy a property there. Yet,
Mm.
market cap is like maybe as at the time me and Onome looked at it that time, it was like 18 billion or something like that. It's probably 60 now. You understand?
Wow.
So everything is not in the books. That's what I always tell people.
And
Every
sometimes you have to turn logic. So for instance, I think I have a video. Sometime next week there'll be a video on PPTC and HM Corp. By the time
okay.
I did the
And
numbers for
what?
HM
HM
call.
Corp, HM Corp.
Okay.
By
Okay.
the time I looked at the numbers for EPTC, how will I put it? The maths did not make sense. So what that tells me is that um UPDC is way undervalued. But if you are going to just look at 1 plus 1 is equals to 2 and 1 plus 1 doesn't add up, I mean, there's no way you're going to go with that. So I think that's also a sector. I mean, both sectors they are not bad, but sometimes you also have to do some street math, and if you do the street
Um,
math,
Yeah.
you look
it's
at it.
like it's like
It
that
doesn't
time
make
Transcorp was selling for 50 kobo. Transcorp had Transcorp Hotel. Transcorp had oil blocks. Transcorp had which other thing? They had so many things going for them, and the this thing was going for 50 kobo. It was not until Otedola came in, and then Otedola told him, "Okay, I will pay you 3 times the market cap of what Transcorp is." That is when people knew how valuable Transcorp was. You understand? So, what I
Yeah.
tell people, like we call it Agbari sense. Okay, go and check where UPDC have properties in Calabar, in Abuja, in Lagos. They have Festival Mall. They have a Festival Hotel. Go and check. Go try and value these properties individually, and tell me how you have the market cap you have for it, and who are the major shareholders there. Custodian,
Mm.
custodian.
Mm.
That is, that. So, my friend, like sometimes, look when those numbers
Uh,
are not making.
I want to say something. I want to
Yes,
say
go ahead.
something.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I've been looking at the Nigeria stock market, and I'm having this feeling that the Nigeria stock market is very bullish. the stock market is very bullish. It's like
Okay.
the market, what? It's like I look at the Nigerian stock market at this period that right now the Nigerian stock market is in a bull season.
Mm-hmm.
Even in like crypto, something that I went back to my Afro Investor position. I went back to my Nigeria chart and I went to MTN. And MTN that has been 230 naira since 2 years or even last year went up
Mm.
to 300 naira. It
Mm.
shocked me. It baffled me.
It shouldn't.
So I mean, I'm saying that this Nigerian stock market is. I go to analysis. I go to analysis. Nigerian stock is one of the best performing stock market in the whole world.
Of
Like one of
course.
the best performing stock markets in the whole world.
Right
So
now. Yeah.
right now, so UPDC, Kutix, Sterling Bank, Universal Insurance, even Universal Insurance that been stagnant for years is going up. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that in next 2 years or next 3 years, the next 2 years, UPDC, Kutix, all these penny stock that are undervalued will rise and it's going
For,
to make a lot of people billionaires.
for sure.
Because there was a time when Geregu was listed in the Nigerian stock market in
Mm.
2022. Geregu
Mm.
was selling by 100 naira until
Mm.
$100 bought it. I heard of a family that made over 4 billion naira.
Mm.
Billion naira from
Mm.
Geregu.
Mm.
Billion naira. Somebody made over 300 million naira from Geregu. So
Mm.
I am saying that in next 3 years, this penny stock market, because I like to tell people that if you buy penny stock like UPTC, Kutis, Era Lake, all this penny stock like 1 naira, 3 naira, just as a lot investor, like 3 years, wait for your see how your money will go. So I feel that these stocks are for investor for long term. I don't feel it's for trade. I feel it's for investment for the long term. And I love to invest for the long term. Like
Yeah.
Orandu, honey flow me is for trading. Just go and buy, go eat and shop. But you see these penny stocks that are undervalued, that is undervalued, I greatly have it in my mind that they are going to make people billionaires in 3 years to come. So I I
Don't
also I
don't
also follow
don't
I
restrict
also flow with that
yourself.
UPDC.
Don't restrict yourself to that time frame. Okay. Sometimes, like me, yeah, I'm just looking. Like there are certain stocks that I've bought and I sold, and I just wished I had. If I had those stocks, I will not be on this space with you guys right now because you will need my secretary to. you will need my you will need my secretary to answer your you will need the permission to be able to get in touch with me. So
I'm telling you.
don't restrict yourself to 3 years. You understand? Um, like 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 agriculture you plant, right? If you are planting palm trees, they are not going to start fruiting until like maybe 3 to 5 years. You understand? And it all
Yeah,
depends on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how friendly the weather conditions
Yes.
are. You understand? So
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
don't lock
yeah.
yourself into that 3 years mind. Yeah, I understand what you are trying to say. Sometimes let it be
Okay.
longer than that.
Yeah,
This
yeah. But
this this
but Mr.
this
Mr.
Go
Pete,
ahead, sir.
Mr. Pete, I
Yeah,
I love what you are saying. You
yeah.
know, in my own concept of investing, I used to have this that for someone that's entering the market, what is your purpose? What is your goal? Or what
Mm-hmm.
is your objective?
Mm.
Like now, there are some stocks someone can buy to make profits, and there are some stocks someone can buy for long-term investment. Like
Mm.
example, now if I want to enter the stock market, assume if I want to trade, like if I use money, I can put my money maybe in Oandu because Oandu has been doing well.
Mm.
Oandu company is good for trading, that's gone high. So I can just put my money to be just maybe seeing profits. There's some stocks in Nigeria, there's some Nigeria stock market you can be seeing profit, like MTN, like Bua Food, like May and Baker, like Unilever, and all those etc. etc. It's good for trading, right? It's good to put your money to like to see profit. But unlike some penny stock, I just feel that it's good to keep it for a long-term investment. So it's just based on someone investment objective. That's why it's for someone to have some stocks like growth stocks and dividend stock. Like dividend stocks that pay dividend. You can be seeing this one that the one I want use to shop. Now this stock I want use to shop, and then there's this stock I want use to trade. But if it's
Yeah.
like all those penny stock, you can keep it for like for long term. That's how I see it,
Yeah.
sha, based on my own
So
objective.
so Enoch, I agree with you. I agree with you. No, no. What I think, Mr. Oboto, you can call him Mr. Charles, is trying to say is that it's best not to even put a like a time frame and say not to put a fixed time frame, because at the end of the day, these stocks could still not do well in 3 years, but maybe in the next 5 years, right? But what we understand is that these
Okay,
stocks are
yeah, yeah, yeah,
undervalued.
yeah.
What we understand is that
Yes,
these stocks are
yes.
undervalued, and on the
Yeah,
if a
yeah.
long term investor, yeah, that we know that is going to do well. You get, because
Mm.
3 years safe might be still short. I'm telling you the truth. So it's just time to tell you should not put
Yeah,
a
yeah.
time to when it's going to do well.
Yeah,
Just know
yeah,
that
yeah.
these are undervalued stocks that are going to do well in the long run. So that's just the
Yeah,
point he was trying
because
to make.
actually Warren
So no,
Buffett
no,
says
no, no,
something.
no, no. Let's not jump into long talk, because we have spent more than 2 hours here. So I get your
Okay,
point, and I
okay.
really appreciate you for
Yeah.
sharing your thoughts on that. Before we go, there is Mr. James
Okay.
have been asking a lot of questions in the comment section.
Okay.
Onome, I want you to just
Okay.
answer it
Okay.
before we end. Onome, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm there. I see the questions. I've
Yeah.
not looked at benefit numbers. I don't give advice
Okay.
now. So I guess the person just has to do
Okay.
their research, and if they like it, fine. If they don't like it,
Okay.
there are other stocks in the market. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Thank you so much, Onome, for coming on the call. I'll still reach out to you for you to drop all the details, so that once this live session, because it's going to be live, I will just pin it for those that might want to reach out to you or connect with you on your YouTube or on Twitter. They can easily just reach out to you. And I really appreciate your time. We have spent more than 2 hours here, 2 hours, almost 30 minutes talking, and I'm very grateful and thankful to you for spending your important time with us here.
Thank you
Thank you so
for
much, Onome.
having me, and thank you for all you do for the market.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay, now we'll call it a day here now. Thank you so much, guys. We'll call it a day. So, Onome, I'll get details from you after the call, after the live session. Thank you so much, guys. I'll be ending it now. Cheers. So, guys, don't forget to share this video as well and like. It's very important.